So hey Eric, it's great to run into you today at NCIA here in San Jose. And you know, everybody kind of got freaked out and surprised to find out that you're no longer at Forever Flowering Greenhouses, because we all know you, like you're at every convention, and you know, we all know you as being the person who built, you know, Forever Flowering into the epic thing it is by being everywhere. But now you're not there anymore. And so I'm glad I ran into you because I wanted to know what you're up to now, and after talking with you for a little bit, it sounds like you've got some opportunities, but you're also looking for some kind of opportunities. So I just wanted to take a second and find out what you're up to and let everybody know. So, because you know, like everybody who's watching is on your team, right?
Yeah.
So what do you got going on now post Forever Flowering?
Well, I appreciate you saying all that stuff, and I appreciate everybody's support. Right now, I took a job with a distribution company, and so I'm actually going out farm to farm sourcing trim at the moment. They do all kinds of things, but my job primarily at the moment is to find trim, and so I'm connected with a lot of farms. And the funny thing is farms I normally wouldn't connect with, I don't believe, I'm now connecting with because of my notoriety, I guess you could say. And so being able to connect with those farms has been kind of cool, because now I'm actually seeing a side of people and things that I normally wouldn't see when I was with that company. And then it also turns into talking about greenhouses a lot. Yeah. And so now a lot of people have searched out for me to still get greenhouse advice.
Right.
And so not that I like the word consultant, I like more of strategy or advisory, you know, those kind of words. But people still want my opinion, and so I'm willing to give that opinion. And of course, I want to monetize it somehow.
Yeah, right.
You know? And I'm not really interested in trying to sell or resell goods as much as I'm happy to sell the advice and work with a lot of the connections that I have in the industry and even in the community to, you know, help farmers in whatever capacity they request.
So you kind of got like two hustles going right now. You've got the sourcing trim for business partner one, and then obviously people are going to be asking you about greenhouses like probably forever now, right? Because you're, you know, industry expert. So let's talk about the trim first, right? So so what kind of opportunities, like, are you looking for people who have got their license and have got trim that they want to sell on the open market? Is that the kind of people you're looking to connect with?
Yeah, and it's kind of fun because, you know, managing a company for 11 years like I did came with a lot of pressures of, you know, a lot of decisions to make and things like that. So basically now it's kind of listening to what other people are doing and just going out and doing something that is really kind of fun in a way, because I'm not selling something, now I'm trying to buy something.
It's way nicer.
Yeah, and I'm connecting with the same group of people, if not the same people that I've connected with before, so it's on a different level for a different purpose, but it's still within my community that I love so much, and the people that actually trust and support me as well that are coming out. And you know, it might not be a career move sounding like, oh, you went from managing a company to picking up trim or whatever, but like I said, without taking a break, this was a quick way to jump into something that I feel like I can, you know, bring value to and also do a pretty good job at, and not have to really think and make so many critical decisions, and, you know, maybe sleep better at night in some cases. So a lot of that stress is relieved, and now going out and doing that's been kind of fun. But like I said, now I'm getting hired to actually going to Vegas next week to consult on a greenhouse project that merely want my advice. They don't really need to buy anything from me, but they want to pick my brain, and they're willing to pay me for it. And so I figured out a way to come up with a rate sheet that kind of discusses a few different services, whether it's giving a presentation to helping people that have never understood or dealt with a greenhouse before, to people that are already on their way into it. And the biggest one now is greenhouse rescue. There's so many greenhouse people that are either getting into an existing one or have built one and maybe don't have the right head grower, maybe they aren't putting the pieces together properly, working harder, not smarter. A lot of those things I can address fairly easily, and it's something I feel like I'm pretty good at. And so the greenhouse rescue in a lot of capacities is a new thing that I'm, you know, kind of coining and taking on.
You know, that actually makes a lot of sense too, because when you were a guest on my Shaping Fire podcast, one of the things like you kept on coming back to is a lot of your job was just stopping people from doing the stuff they were doing wrong, right? It's like the greenhouse itself you know, if you build it right, you're in good shape. But then how people choose to use it, you know, gets them in all sorts of trouble, right down to using black fabric bags instead of brown, right?
It was amazing over the course of the last year or so, the people that I met and went to farms that had our greenhouses, I felt like understood what we were all about, or the message that I was laying down. And I came to the realization that a lot of people didn't quite, I mean, they bought product or greenhouses from me and things, but they still didn't quite get the concept. And so I feel like I'm still saying the same story and trying to hold the same space that I did before, because that information I feel like is vital, and it's still the same information that's helping people. But like I said, you know, even people that I'm the closest to might not have seen my presentations or heard my message before, and so
I don't know how anybody could avoid hearing you, because you were everywhere, right?
That's what I thought, and I feel like sometimes I feel like I've been everywhere and said it, and other times I felt like, man, nobody's heard anything, because I'm out here just repeating myself and going over a lot of the same things, you know, with the greenhouses, the ground covers, the colors, the clear skins, different little things trapping air, and the default is to turn on a fan rather than open it up and stop trapping air. So I mean, it's just methods to the madness, and unfortunately in California we lost a lot of brands or people that were originally pioneering people or companies due to regulation. And so with those people being gone, we have a whole new crop of people that in some ways need that education all over again.
Our industry has got such churn, dude. It's just like more, and then, you know, got all these new states coming online.
Yeah.
And then since you did, I mean, you did my show a couple times, but you know, you're kind of everywhere, right? You did everybody's show.
I tried to be, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so there's people who are coming across you as the greenhouse expert in everybody's back catalog, right? I think you were on my show like a year and a half ago, right? People still write to me to say, oh my God, that was a great show. Like, how do we get in contact with you, you know?
Yeah.
And so, you know, as people come across all the media that you've been in, I can imagine them still calling you up, you know, thinking you're still where you were, but you're all like, nope, freelance now, baby. Like, let me solve your problems for cheaper, you know?
Yeah. And I got a mix of that here today. I saw people that knew or followed kind of the story or kind of saw how things were going in my transition, and gave me a lot of accolades and support today. And then there was people that didn't know and learned today. And like I was saying, people just want to hear the advice or work with me in the sense that I, you know, do have a lot of connections to source a lot of things to make a business work or to fix a business that's having problems.
Yeah, and actually I heard you say that stuff a couple times to people, like bring people up to speed. And, you know, I've like, you know, you and I have been pals for a while now, but I thought it was very honorable that you weren't talking any shit about your old employer, right? Like a lot of people, like, you know, when they're not somewhere anymore, they talk a lot of crap, right?
They put them on blast.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And that's not your way. You're just like, you know, parting the ways, doing my own thing now, and there's a lot of honor in that.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I tried to do my best in the 11 years that I was there and treat it like it was my own company. And I was a partial owner, wasn't a majority owner. And, you know, after 11 years, my time has come, I guess you could say. And so it's actually been a nice breath of fresh air, even though transitions can be tough. But, you know, the cannabis industry still has a lot to offer for people. And I'm glad that I've been here so long so that I do have these connections and the people around me that are supportive and appreciative of stuff, you know? Like, it's hard to believe how appreciative people are to my commitment to the community and the industry.
Well, also, you're a giver, right? Like, you know,
I
mean, like, you and I hit it off right away, but there's no doubt, man, you introduced me to people at Emerald Cup, you opened doors for me, you told people, like, he's not a local Humboldt guy, but he's okay, you know what I mean?
Vouching
and so,
for people.
I'm sure you do that to all sorts of folks, and so, you know, just like why I hunted you down today, you know, like, you know, people want to give back. You know? Yeah.
And I don't do it for everybody, but I definitely do it for the people that I find the same community spirit, the passion for the plant, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I think we can see each other, you know, through a crowd sometimes and sort out who's who, even from being outside blazing a doobie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Versus standing in line at the bar.
Yeah, right.
And so, you know, some of those things give it that community effort that we're really a part of and makes us remember and see each other every time we're here versus being at the bar and, you know, maybe remembering each other or not, and it's usually not for the same meaning that we put to it and why we're here.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So let's wrap this up by talking about like the kind of opportunities you're looking for, right? Because kind of the goal of my, you know, me doing this is that I wanted to get you re-plugged in new ways, right? Mm-hmm. And so you got the trim thing going on. Should people reach out to you if they have trim for sale?
Yeah, definitely.
So what are you looking for specifically?
I'm looking for state permitted trim, and it can be in various quality. There's a various price range for that quality. It needs to pass testing for contaminants. It's microprocessed, so they test it for everything and even the returns. And then we basically quarantine it for 2 weeks while the testing is going on, and then we come out and cash out on the spot. We can even do wire transfers. So it's not a terms of 30 or 45 days or any of these other things.
Just testing, and that's it.
Yeah, it's the testing. Give us a minute, we'll be right back, and then we cash out. And that works really well, and it seems to be, compared to what I'm hearing, a pretty good opportunity. And then with the greenhouse consulting, I'm creating a rate card that's going to have different services and different ways for people to basically utilize my information and my connections within the industry.
And so, like, as far as the greenhouses, people should contact you if they are considering a greenhouse and they want to understand it better and they want to think about what vendor to go to. Mm-hmm. And if they've got a greenhouse that's maybe underperforming or they want it to perform better, mm-hmm. or they've got, like, you know, when greenhouses go bad and they got a situation because like everybody knows you're like the greenhouse save king because you're always out at greenhouses seeing like worst case scenarios all the time. Yeah.
And it's all been cannabis. That's the other thing. Like, there's plenty of greenhouse experts and greenhouse people out there that know way more than me, I'm sure. And the thing that I know is the cannabis side of everything related to greenhouses for more than 11 years, because when I moved to Humboldt in 1992, I was really chasing down cannabis more than anything. And black boxing and light dep was part of that. Greenhouses eventually became part of that, and yeah, I turned it into a career for the last 11 years, so it put me really on the spot for, you know, ground zero for cannabis greenhouses and seeing all the stumbling blocks and things that people go through, and really they're usually right there. If we switch a couple things up or layer things a little bit more properly, things can take off pretty quickly. So I'm there, and I can be there for the long haul, or I can be there for the one day, you know, here's what I have to say. And sometimes that's a vetting process too. Yeah. But like you said, I've been around a little while, and I do have some good references to go by.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All right, so then you got the trim and the greenhouses. Are you also like open for opportunities? Like if somebody had like, oh my God, Eric Brandstad would be perfect for this position. It's like if people have got like, you know, job opportunities, do you want to hear about those too?
Yeah, I'd love to hear from those. I'm always down to hear about what's going on. I'm always excited to hear what other companies are doing. I like to be innovative and creative at the same time. So I mean, that's the thing about this industry. It's still blossoming and
early
expanding. Yeah, so my whole thing is, you know, I love to see opportunity for everybody, and I always try to create it for other people as well, even if I'm working with them or for them. And so I feel like if somebody has that maybe for me, I'm willing to look.
Right on.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so then how do people get a hold of you if they've got one of these things they want to talk to you about?
If it's the trim, I'm Eric, E-R-I-C, at boxcarsupplyco.com. And then if you want to get a hold of me just for the greenhouses, you can get a hold of me at eric@jasminefarms.com. And that's E-R-I-C, Eric, at Jasmine Farms.
Right on. You want to plug your Instagram too?
Oh yeah, it's Light Dep Greenhouse. Light_Dep_Greenhouse. And I'm still providing content like I used to on my old account. I'm still, you know, answering DMs and, you know, trying to build up my account. It's not what it used to be, but at the same time, I'm still trying to provide a lot of that info that I did before.
Right on.
Because I'm still going out to greenhouses and creating that content and things like that. And so I'm trying to make it available for people, you know, for free too.
Yeah, right on. Well, dude, you've been like, you know, you're like one of the people in the industry who's like universally loved, and you've got a lot to share, and you're smart as hell. So I'm sure that you are going to, like, you know, figure out after these in-between hustles where you want to really be. So best of luck to you, and thanks for taking a couple minutes with me.
It's always good seeing you.
All right, brother.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Right on.